So I ask every elected official in America, how do you want to be remembered? Do you want to be on the side of Dr. King or George Wallace? Do you want to be on the side of John Lewis or Bull Connor? Do you want to be on the side of Abraham Lincoln or Jefferson Davis?
Jefferson Davis. To say that Americans who oppose a bad voting law want to bring back slavery in America is not just outrageously insulting. It is really a sign of desperation, and it's already begun to backfire politically. So where will their desperation lead Team Biden next? For insight, here now is Karl Rove. He's former senior advisor under President George W. Bush. He's also a Fox Business contributor. Great to see you again, Karl. It is as absurd as that statement was yesterday, and insulting, of course. I get nervous when politicians, particularly the President of the United States, is that desperate to say something that absurd. What could he do next?
Well, I think this was play acting. In fact, tomorrow in my Wall Street Journal weekly column, I call it campaign kabuki, because there's no way that either one of these two bills he's talking about, the Freedom to Vote Act, which federalizes elections, or the John Lewis Voting Accountability Act, which overturns a Supreme Court decision limiting the ability of DOJ to supervise states in the preparation of their election laws. They're not going to pass. They require 60 votes in the Senate to do it. They don't have 60 votes to take it up, and the filibuster is going to continue. The 60-vote requirement is going to be there. It's done. So this was all about inflaming the left of the Democratic Party in order to energize them for the election and to show them that the president was doing all that he could. He's doing his darndest to try and get their priority passed. But you touched on it. It was insulting. Think about this. Georgia has a more permissive law on early voting than does New York. Georgia says anybody can vote early.
Or than Delaware, or than his home state.
Delaware has never allowed early voting. First election will be 2022. He was first elected in 1972. Where are the statements over the year denouncing his home state of Delaware as being in league with George Wallace and Jefferson Davis?
Yeah,
it's just absurd.
But Karl, in placating the left, he is burning his bridges with the independents. The independents don't go for him. And his polling numbers, let me just put up his polling numbers. They are going down on all of the specifics. Of course, the economy he's doing terribly on, only 34% approved, 57%. But go down to the bottom there. Foreign policy, of course, is a disaster. On response to COVID now, he is way underwater. He came in with a very, very high approval rating. He now only has 39%, 55% disapprove. He cannot win an election with that much disapproval on the core projects.
No, absolutely. That's why they're going to lose the House of Representatives, probably lose the Senate. They may make a few gains in governors because we have popular governors in Maryland, term limited, or not running again in Massachusetts, but they're going to also then be wiped out at the state legislative level. And it's all because he ran a campaign that was brilliantly conceived to win the election, and then not able to govern as a result of
well,
the way
they did exactly the opposite than trying to appeal to the middle. And Mitch McConnell, I think, laid it out very clearly today in his response to what the president said. Yes, I just want to play a clip of that and get your reaction. Roll tape.
12 months ago, this president said we should see each other not as adversaries, but as neighbors. Yesterday, he called millions of Americans his domestic enemies. I did not recognize the man at the podium yesterday.
Now, he's not only burning his bridges with the middle of the country, he's tarnishing his image as a president forever, Karl. I mean, this is really legacy stuff that went on yesterday.
Absolutely. And when it comes to elections, the one thing where there seems to be a possibility of agreement is correcting the 1887 Electoral College Act and clarifying, making it crystal clear the vice president has a ceremonial role, not a decisional role, in receiving the report from the states of their electoral college votes. And he's making it more difficult to arrive at success in the one thing that we ought to be doing, which is fixing that law. And just amazing to me. I encourage people, your viewers, to Google McConnell January 12th 2022 video and take a look at it. It's only about 14 minutes long, but it is a powerful indictment of a man that he considered to be a president, the president whom he considered to be a friend, and clearly is terribly disappointed in how he conducted himself since he's taken office. Well
beyond the
watch.
Beltway, the American people are really concerned about what's happening in the United States right now. I mean, they are seeing changes by a sliver of the electorate that is controlling the White House now and what they're doing and controlling powers in Congress, and it is not reflective. And 6 out of 10 Americans, according to a recent poll, see this country, the problems within the country, as a bigger threat than the problems outside the country. That is, they are more worried about the divisiveness here and the push to the far left than they are about what's happening in Russia or what's happening in other parts of the world. I mean, what's happening basically is that the Biden administration is stirring that pot instead of trying to calm it.
Right, and that's why more than by a margin of 2 to 1, nearly 2/3 of the American people think the country's off on the wrong track. Better than twice as many people as think that it's going in the right direction. That's not where you want to be if you're the president and his party is facing elections this fall.
Well, I got to ask you a final question about the Democrats, because you've heard about this possibility that Hillary Clinton might be running again in 2024. Your thoughts on that? I mean, if they're reaching there for an answer, what does that say about the situation they're in?
Well, two things. One is I've said for a long time the Democrats are not going to be running either Joe Biden or Kamala Harris in 2024. They're not going to nominate an 82-year-old to be a presidential candidate, and Kamala Harris has been an utter unmitigated disaster. Are they going to be so desperate as to go back to Hillary Clinton? I doubt it. I think we'll see a new face. But if they do run Hillary Clinton, then the Republicans will have an excellent chance to recover it. She was the one person in America whom Donald Trump could defeat in 2016, and he did. She will be, almost regardless of who the Republicans nominate in 2024, they could probably beat Hillary Clinton. She is not going to change. There's not going to be a new Hillary. She's going to be the person that we didn't want to see in the White House in 2016.
Karl Rove, good to see you, Karl. Thank you very much.
Happy New
Appreciate
Year.
it. Happy New Year to you.